Hello, everybody. My name is Devin Gill, and I'm sad to inform you today is our last lesson of the school year. You guys have been very great this whole year, so let this get this party started right. And remember, 5 hour energy, hours of energy now, no crash later. So today I'm going to teach you guys about repeated measures, about one way ANOVA, and we're also going to learn the sum of square and degree of freedom for total, within, and between. Let's get started. So next, I'm gonna bring in my guest, Pansy.
Hi class, I'm Fancy, and I'm here to teach you guys today about repeated measures, one-way ANOVA, not two-way, one-way. So, Sandeep, Devin, and Walt Jr. all took tests in a class where rap music was playing in the background, hip-hop was playing in the background, and country music were playing in the background. These are all of Sandeep's scores: 12, 10, 14, Devin's 8, 9, and 10, and Walt Jr.'s, which is 4, 5, and 9. Adding these all up, you get 12, 9, and 6, which is a total of 9. And down here, you get 8, 8, and 11, which is a total of 9 as well. So this is the average of everything. These are the averages of each category, and these are the averages of each subject. So, Sandeep, Devin, and Walt Jr. all took tests in a class where rap music was playing in the background, hip-hop was playing in the background, and country music were playing in the background. These are all of Sandeep's scores: 12, 10, 14, Devin's 8, 9, and 10, and Walt Jr.'s, which is 4, 5, and 9. Adding these all up, you get 12, 9, and 6, which is a total of 9. And down here you get 8, 8, and 11, which is a total of 9 as well. So this is the average of everything. These are the averages of each category, and these are the averages of each subject. The first thing we want to do is, Sandeep, Devin, and Walt Jr. all took tests in a class where rap music was playing in the background, hip-hop was playing in the background, and country music were playing in the background. These are all of Sandeep's scores: 12, 10, 14, Devin's 8, 9, and 10, and Walt Jr.'s, which is 4, 5, and 9. Adding these all up, you get 12, 9, and 6, which is a total of 9. And down here you get 8, 8, and 11, which is a total of 9 as well. So this is the average of everything. These are the averages of each category, and these are the averages of each subject. The first thing we want to do is find the sum of squares within. So the first thing we want to do is get the sum of squares within, which will be the sum of square of the rap plus the sum of square of the hip-hop plus the sum of square of the country. And so the first thing we're going to do is get the rap one, which the sum of squares would be rap 12. As an average was 8, so minus 8 squared plus 8 minus 8 squared plus 4 minus 8 squared. After putting this into the calculator, you would know that this is 4 squared is 16, 0 squared is 0, and 4 squared is 16, which equals 32. You do the same thing for the hip-hop now, which equals 10 minus 8 squared plus 9 minus 8 squared plus 5 minus 8 squared. 2 squared is 4, plus 1 squared is 1, plus 3 squared is 9. So you know this equals 14. Now you want the sum of squares of the country, which is, as you can see, these three numbers minus that. 14 minus 11 squared plus 10 minus 11 squared plus 9 minus 11 squared. That is 9, 1, 10 minus 11 is negative 1, square root of 2 is 1, plus 2 squared is 4, and this is once again also 14. You add these three numbers up, and you get 60. So class, the second step is the sum of squares between which is the sum of squares of the groups. So this would be 3 because we have 3 groups. As if the first group average is 8 minus the average of 9 squared plus 3 again, 8 minus 9 squared plus 3 again, 11 minus 9 squared. As you can see, these are the groups, the averages, so these go here. After doing the math, you figure out that that's 1, that's 3 squared, plus, 1, that's also 3 squared, plus 2 times 3 is 6, 6 squared, and you get 27 plus, so after doing the math, you get 3, 3, and 12, which is equal to 18. So this is the sum of squares of the groups. That's the sum of squares within. So from here, guys, what I want to do is make the tree that we all learned about. The sum of squares total is right here. So you go sum of squares within, sum of squares between. So as we know, the sum of squares within is 60. Sum of squares between is 18. And we all know that the within and the between equal the total. So the total sum of squares is 78. And then from here, we go down and we get the sum of squares of the subject and the sum of squares of error. So to get the sum of squares of the subject, what we do is 3 because the amount of the subject. There's 3 subjects. As you can see, Devin, Sandeep, and Walt Jr. Sandeep's average is 12 minus 9 of the total average. Then we get Devin's average of 9 minus the 9 total average. And then we get Walt Jr.'s poor average of 6 minus 9 squared. After doing the math here, we see that's 27 plus 0 plus 27, which equals 54. So we bring that up back to a chart that we have been learning about all year long. And we see the sum of squares of the subject is 54. We know that the sum of squares of the subject plus the error equal the sum of squares of the within. So the leftover is 6. And also, what we have to calculate in a repeated measures one way ANOVA is the sum of square of the error and the sum of square of the between. This is what's important to us in a repeated measures ANOVA. I just want to do the rest for you so you can know how to do it because it's very important to know all the steps. So the second tree we're going to make is the degrees of freedom tree. With degrees of freedom total, degrees of freedom within, and degrees of freedom between. We'll start off here. The degrees of freedom total is how many tests were here? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we know the degrees of freedom is always minus 1. So 9 minus 1 is what?
9.
8. It's 8. And so the degrees of freedom within. So to find the degrees of freedom within in a repeated measures one way ANOVA, what you do is, since we have 9 total scores and 3 categories, we subtract 9 minus 3, which equals 6. And then also 6 plus what equals 8? 2. So that is the degrees of freedom between. So after that, we want the degrees of freedom of the subject and the degrees of freedom of error. How many subjects do we have? Let's see. We have Devin, Sandeep, and Walt Jr. So that means 3 minus 1 is 2. And we want the subject plus error to equal within, so we know the degrees of freedom is 4. So what's important to us here is the degrees of freedom of the error and the between. So after we find this, we go to the also famous F test, which in here is the between and the of error, which is also equal to the sum of squares between divided by degrees of freedom between and sum of squares error minus degrees of freedom error. So that is why I circled these numbers, because all these numbers are important to us. And right here what I do is, you get sum of squares between was 18 divided by the degrees of freedom, which is 2, then 6 sum square of the error divided by the degrees of freedom of 4, which equals 9 over 1.5, which is equal to 6. And then we go over to our F table. And we find the degrees of freedom of 2 and 4, which is 9.943, as you can see right here. So then, there's a critical value (9.9443), and since we can see that this is smaller, our actual number is smaller than our critical value. Since we're looking up alpha of 0.5, we fail to reject the null hypothesis.
Well, thank you to Banshee, for explaining that whole problem to us. It's been a great year. We've learned a lot of great stuff in math. Hopefully, you guys can apply this in future math classes, and also, in your future life. Give big thanks to Professor Paul Shirey. He helped us a lot throughout this year and made this year very fun, and also taught us a lot of great things. And also, don't forget 5-hour energy. Hours of energy now, no crash or jitters later.